Welcome to Wheels, Deals, and Meals, where we talk all things good food, good business, and good cars. And now, here is your host, Arnold Garcia, founder and CEO of Petra Automotive Products. Let's roll.
So we are here again at our house with a great special guest, Mario Rodriguez. He is the founder and chairman of the Hispanic 100, a nonprofit organization. And I met him a few months ago through a mutual friend. I'm not going to tell you that we fell in love, but he is one of the kindest, nicest guys I've ever met. Heart in the right place. Had the opportunity to spend a little bit of time with him when we were down for the gala in California. And so he happens to be here in Houston. I asked him to be on the show. He was kind enough to say yes. Mario, welcome.
Thank you very much. So great to see you.
So good to see you.
Oh, so good to see you in your casa. Just warms my heart.
Thank you, man. Mi casa es tu casa.
Oh, thank you. You shouldn't say that because I may be moving in
brother,
here.
Listen, there's plenty of room for you here.
Okay,
plenty of room for you here.
Beautiful.
Mario, tell us what Hispanic 100 is.
Hispanic 100 is a foundation, and it's a nonprofit, and it's a mentorship program. And we mentor young adults, 18 to 25. And I picked that age group because I just was speaking to some young kids in my area, and they were having issues, and they're all in college. And I said, you know what, you guys, I'm gonna mentor you, because they were asking questions that real quick. One of my little kid was a boxer, and I was on the athletic commission, and I worked for Arnold Schwarzenegger, and so this little boxer, he he tested positive for hepatitis C, and since I'm on the commission, we were going to have to pull his license, and I knew this kid when he was 12 years old, and now he's 19, and when he tested positive for hepatitis C, his career was over. He dropped out of high school. And so they called me and said, Mario, Ronnie's, tested positive for hepatitis C. And I said, tell him I want to have dinner with him. So I had dinner with him the next night. And I just said, hey, so Ronnie, what are you going to do? I go, because you dropped out of school, you don't have education, boxing's been your life. And he said, well, my mom has a janitorial company. He goes, maybe I can help her there. And I said, all right. I said, let's do this. I said, I have a lot of friends that have businesses. Why don't I help you grow take your mom's little business, and let's grow it to a big business. And he said, oh, that'll be great. And then he started asking me all these questions. What's it like when you're meeting with important people like Arnold? What's it like when you go and speak in front of groups? Do you get nervous? And he's asking all these questions. And I'm going, wait a minute, here's this kid just had his career taken from him, but he's so inquisitive and he was so energetic. And I said, you know what it's like? I'm going to tell you what it's like. You're going to go with me. I'm going to take you to meetings. I'm going to show you what it's like, and I'm going to mentor you. And that's really how it got started.
Yeah.
Was with him. And then I found out there's other
kids. One kid that you wanted to make a difference in his life.
That
had been taking his career away.
His career taken away, exactly. So I started taking him around for a couple of weeks and started meeting folks. And then because I was on the commission, and I said, I want to get him tested again to make sure. So we retested him. And it came back negative. So now he's able to fight again. Mm-hmm. So he goes, so basically what happened.
Why did you want to have him retested?
Well, because I asked him, I asked doctor friends of mine, and I said, how do you get hepatitis C? And they told me, that, it's just a blood transfusion or a dirty needle. And I said, really? And I know that the kid didn't do drugs, and I know he didn't have a blood transfusion. So I said, you know what, let's just try it one more time. And so we retested him. That's why we did it. And when he came back negative, he could fight again. So then he basically said, well, Mario, thanks a lot. I'm back boxing again. And I said, okay, but that's what triggered it. I said, you know what, he needs it. Other kids his age need it. Because what I found out was that when these kids go to college, they're kind of like forgotten, not to say forgotten about, but they're in college, they're doing well. You know what? They're gonna get their degree. They're gonna be fine, but they still need help. They still need guidance.
Everybody needs mentoring.
Exactly. Everybody does, because when I was starting my business and I had my business going, we were struggling hard trying to get business, trying to get doors open, and nobody really helped us. And I remember talking to a friend of mine, and I said, you know what? Wouldn't it be nice if some of these Hispanic leaders helped us and at least opened up doors for us? And they said, so he said, I said, listen, when we get there, and we're going to be Hispanic leaders one time, we need to change that. So that's why I really came up with the idea. I said, I have the nonprofit. I said, let's make this a more structured program. So we got my executive director and we structured it. So now what we do is we mentor young adults, 18 to 25. We give them a mentor, which is so important. We put them through monthly workshops at one of the colleges. We network them. We get now they have community leaders, educators, leaders in the community that they had never had access to before. Now they have access to. And then we have a big gala, as you know, that you came out to, and we raise money and we give them scholarships. And then it's become an evolution because now we helping them get jobs. To the point, Friday, there's a company called Anduril, Palmer Lucky's company. Mm-hmm. Palmer is the gentleman who started Oculus, the virtual reality glasses, and Facebook bought him for $3 billion. And him and his partner, and they were billionaires at 23, 24 years old. Now he started about 4 or 5 years ago, a drone company. And he's taking the drones.
He's not the drone guy in New Jersey, is he?
No.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. But he started getting government contracts and for the borders, for the borders, you know, put fences up. You know, you can literally be sitting right here. You can look at a TV screen monitor, and they can literally see with those drones if there's a rabbit running. So they notify the border patrol, there's somebody coming through, blah, blah. But now he's got it so sophisticated because now he's doing big government contracts. He's going to be one of the top government contractors in the country because now what they're doing is he's doing drones to fight wars. Where unmanned drones, it's one called Roadrunner. It comes out, they push some buttons, comes out, and it'll go to a target, it'll blow it out of the water and come right back. Out of the sky and come right back. It's crazy what he's able to do and what he's doing, where he's taking it. Well, we're going there on Friday. I'm taking 18 of my kids there for a tour of his facility. Because I said, Palmer, my kids are the type of kids you want to hire because they're go-getters. The program is not an easy program. They have to work hard to get the scholarship. But what they get out of it is life-changing because that's what I call it. We're changing lives. Yeah. And the lives that we're changing is, you can be successful, make a lot of money. You can be successful in many ways. But there's nothing to me that's more passionate and warms my heart.
What matters is the legacy.
Yes, exactly.
It doesn't matter the money.
Mm-hmm. No, it doesn't matter.
It's the legacy.
The legacy.
It's the legacy. Nobody talks about money in a funeral.
Exactly.
They talk about legacy.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Every time, all the time.
All the time.
So if somebody wanted to give to Hispanic 100, where'd they go?
Well, they do numerous things. They could go online. We have you can give money online through our Hispanic100.org. You can come to our events.
So Hispanic and then the numbers 100.
100, yes, 100.org. You can come to our events. We have numerous events, in California, but now we're doing one in January. We're doing one in Washington, D.C. And so I can tell you right now, first time I've said it in public, is that we now will be opening a Hispanic 100 office in Washington, D.C.
Major.
So now we're taking this organization from more of a regional organization to national organization. And we're going to go to Washington, and we're going to take it by storm.
Where are you going to live?
I'll be going back there in about 3 weeks to get a place. I'm getting an office, then I'm going to go look for office space. I got office spaces being looked at right now. They're going to take me to, and then I'll be looking off, some, condos.
I mean, you're the guy that Trump calls when he has a problem, right?
Sometimes. When the Hispanic, I've been really fortunate that I've worked for him. I worked with him when he was president, in 16 to 20. And then when he just got reelected, I was working with him a lot. So I was one of his national Hispanic advisors. So I've got to see him up close, front. Had numerous meetings with him. And however you feel about him, what I have seen is...
Well, you know how I feel.
I know how you feel about him. And and 56% of the Hispanic men in this country feel the same way.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, not crazy, but it's so interesting how he got 44% of the Latino vote, which is the highest that any Republican president has ever got.
Listen, I've said this before. If the right message, if Latinos, I just think that Latinos don't necessarily know all he stands for, because what he stands for is what most Latinos stand for. They just don't know sometimes. You know, we stand for family, we stand for honor, we stand for respect. You know, we stand for working hard. You know, all that stuff. You know, so anyway, we stand for Christian values. I keep going. I just think that a lot of times some people don't or get the message skewed. But when you really get down to, you know, Latinos that know the message, it's hard to find a Latino that's not voting for him.
Right. Yeah. And that's why people say, how did he win? How did he get the Latino vote? Very simple. It's the economy. I mean, you know, the border. I mean, by what happened at the border the last 4 years has hurt a lot of Hispanics that have been here, that are trying to do the right thing, that are working to get, you know, to get citizenship. Everything just got stopped.
And then the situations with the murders and everything else that happened, that it's just not right.
It's not right. We can't. Right. I mean, I'm big on
He's bringing back some common sense.
He's bringing back some common sense. And I'll tell you what he's going to do, because this is something by us going back to Washington. We have the foundation, which is our scholarship arm and all that. But we also have a C4, which is an educational and advocacy arm. And what we're going to do with that is we're going to work really, really hard on trying to get something done on DACA. Because I think we get something done on DACA for the dreamers, immigration can follow.
Oh my God, yes.
But it's the right thing to do.
Right.
And we just said a few minutes ago, legacy. Can you imagine?
It's common sense.
It's common sense.
These kids. Listen, most Americans, the majority, just want common sense.
Yeah. It's not rocket science stuff.
It's common sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
The pocketbook, you want to go.
That's right. I want to be able to make some money. You know, I don't want my eggs to cost so much. I want a border that's protected. You know, I want liberty. Leave me alone. You know, I mean, it's just common sense stuff.
100%.
Mario, tell me where you from? Where were you born?
I was actually born in Hawthorne, Nevada, but I'm pretty much from Southern. I was from Southern California. My dad was in the Marine Corps.
Okay.
In Camp Pendleton, which is in Oceanside, California.
Right.
But my family actually grew up in Texas, here in Texas, San Antonio and Dilley, Texas. That's my mom and dad were born here.
Okay.
But my dad was 19. He joined the service.
And you were born where?
I was born in Hawthorne, Nevada.
Okay.
Because my dad was in the military
at that time.
But we lived in
Vista. And when did you move from there?
We were just there for like
for you
2
to
months.
be born.
Right, because he was in repelling school.
Yeah.
So he was up there when my mom was pregnant. My mom was pregnant, so he was up there and had me while I was up there, and then we came right back home.
So did you grow up in Southern California?
Southern California, San Clemente.
Oh.
Yeah, San Clemente, down by the beach. I'm a little beach boy. I always said, you know what, my goal is to be a beach bum. Because when I become a beach bum, I know I've made it.
You know, there's no beach in Washington D.C., right?
I know that. Wait a minute.
There's water.
No, there's water. There's Potomac. There's a Potomac.
There's water, but it's not necessarily beach.
But no, I'm a beach guy. I love growing up in a small little town, San Clemente, and it just, you know, I grew up there.
Where'd you go to high school?
San Clemente High.
Okay.
San Clemente High. Went to San Clemente High School.
Did you go to college?
I went to Saddleback College, and then I was going to play football.
Saddleback College. Yeah, I haven't heard that in a while.
Yeah. It's a junior college, and it was the #1 football junior college in the state. Yeah. All the state champs. So I played football in high school. So I went out there to go out for the team, and from a high school level to a top-notch junior college, I lasted a half a practice. I went out there, and those guys were animals and beasts. And I said, that's it, man. I'm going to get killed out here. So I hung up my athletic, football, cleats. But, I played sports all through high school. That's what kept me out of trouble. Sports really kept me out. Kept me focused.
Listen, it's then and now. Mm-hmm. Get a kid to stay busy so that the other influences don't come in. Mm-hmm. The moment a kid is bored, we are in trouble.
We're in trouble. That's right. That's
right. Because then all these other outside influences come in, and they're bored.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they get hooked and down the wrong path.
It's very easy to do.
Sure.
I mean, my dad, I went and lived with my dad when my mom and dad got divorced when I was 5, so I went and lived with him when I was 11. And it was just my dad and I. And he bartended at night. So he'd go to school at 3, he'd go to work at 3 in the afternoon, he wouldn't get home till 3 in the morning. So I was home 5 nights a week by myself. So it was very easy for me to go left and go the wrong way. Very easy. But I did. I went down to the boys club, and I just went there after school. I'd grab something to eat, and I'd go there, and I'd stay there till they closed.
Which probably helped build this thing of wanting to help the youth.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
100%.
All right, so you go to the college. What's your first real job?
I was a apprentice plumber.
Really?
I started plumbing. I started plumbing right out of high school before I went to Saddleback, and this guy had his own business, and he knew my dad, and so he was looking for help, and so I went and started working for him. And
How long did you do that for?
I did that for about a year and a half.
Okay.
And he wanted me to take over the business, and I was like rocking and rolling. I was kicking butt. You know, he would go into jobs.
They're good businesses.
Yeah. We were rocking and we were doing great. But then, you know what? It just wasn't for me. It just wasn't for me. I wanted to.
So then what'd you do?
So then I ended up. I went to Saddleback. Then after Saddleback, then I got a job at the post office, and so I was carrying mail because my dad, one of my friends of mine, dad was a mailman, and I go, man, this guy's got an easy job. He only works a certain amount of time. He gets off early. He's got all these benefits. So I did that, and so when I started getting the postal service, and I was still going to Saddleback, I started getting into management because they thought I was management material. Had management material, so so I had to drop out of Saddleback and work full time with the post office. So I did that for about 6 years, and I got into management. But it wasn't for me. I'm an entrepreneur. Don't put me in a box. They had me selling a product that I didn't believe in because it wasn't a good product.
Yeah.
You know, it was express mail.
Yeah.
And we're going up against FedEx, and we're getting killed all the time.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? I need to get out of here. I need to do something else. And I always had that entrepreneurial spirit.
A little side note on that. I heard the other day that I thought was crazy, but the more I think about it, it actually makes sense that they should give the United States mail service to Amazon.
Yeah.
Right? And at first I was like, but then I started thinking about that. Who else can deliver stuff accurately, fast, has the logistics down?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah. It should be privatized. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It should not. I mean, they always lose money.
Yeah.
They can't get it together. You know. So anyway, at first I was like, that's crazy. And then the more I think about it, I'm like, wait a minute.
Well, look, they just came up. They started delivering the delivery of a product now.
They're delivering
better than anybody.
cars.
Yeah.
They're delivering. Amazon's delivering a car. You can buy a Hyundai online. Deliver it to your house.
Deliver it to your house. I know exactly. It's crazy.
You know. All right.
Yeah.
So you go from there, and you want to be an entrepreneur. So what do you do?
So what I did is I got tired of working for the post office. It wasn't for me. So you'll love this. What I did is my buddy and I, from a high school buddy of mine, he said we came up with an idea where we took the stamps the Postal Service had, and we made them into lapel pins, and we sold them back to the post office. So I created a whole new business and market,
kidding.
and I was selling millions of them.
Kidding.
Yeah, it was a whole market I created. Yeah, and that led to me opening a lapel pin company, and I was one of the largest in the United States at one time.
No kidding.
So, I mean, I remember. So I did that, and after about
I didn't know that about you.
Yeah. So after about a year, we did that. We went to Dodgers. Every year they gave out a contract for 1.2 million pins. We go to 6 different games. You got a lapel pin, and so we went after the contract, and we worked really hard, and we ended up getting that. The first year in business, we did $100,000. A year later, and 3 months later, I landed that contract with the Dodgers in Cal 76 stations for a $600,000 contract, and we just took off from there. Yeah, and I had that for 23 years, and then I sold it. A guy came to me, and I didn't want to sell it, but he just kept offering me more money, and I said no. And then finally we went to lunch, and he says, okay, this is my last offer. If you don't take it, I'm done. And so he made the offer, and I go, okay, we shook hands. But it wasn't enough to retire me, but it allowed me to do other things. And I got involved in politics along the way.
How'd you get along to politics? What was your first footstep into politics?
You'll love this one. This is a good one. But remember, in San Clemente, Richard Nixon lived in San Clemente at the Western White House. He bought a house right at the south end of town. And a friend of mine was his valet. And in 1979, Nixon had the 10th anniversary of landing on the moon for the astronauts. Mind you, he was president. in '69 when they landed on the moon. So he wanted to have an anniversary party, reception at his house. And so I got invited by my buddy. So back then, that's when a lot of Hollywood movie stars were Republican. I mean, Glenn Ford, Jack, George Allen, the coach, Red Skelton, June Allison, Cesar Romero. So I went to that and I got to meet President Nixon there. And when you meet a president, when you're just 20, 21 years old, and you meet a president, it gives you like, wow. And it just hooked me. Then I started helping with city council races, then board of supervisors, then sheriff races, and then assembly races, then U.S. Senate races. And then in 2000, I was, a good friend of mine who I'd known through business was running the whole Hispanic effort for President Bush in 2000. And so Governor Bush at the time. And he says, hey, Mario, I need you on the team. I said, okay. So I got on the team. We win. And, normally after you win on something like this, you're one of 300,000 people to get an invitation, to the inauguration. Okay, great. So I got that. So I knew that's what I would get. But remember, that was in 2000 when it was, we didn't get, because of Florida and everything that happened. So we win the election, Bush wins the election. And he, 4 days later, I get a call from the president-elect's office saying that he wants me to fly to Austin to meet with them. A group of Hispanic leaders are having us to come there. So we sent 25 of us went to Stephen Austin High School to meet with Bush. And I mean, I'm talking to some, I had no idea this was even going to happen. It was like, wow, I just thought I'd just get an invitation to inauguration. So we go there and we go to the high school, and we're in there and he brings in Condoleezza Rice, Chief of Staff, Andy Card, Evans, all his secretaries that he picked at the time. And he said, I want my administration to look like America. And I want you guys to come into my administration, and I want you to help me find qualified Latinos to come into my administration. And you guys are my team. And we're all like looking at each other saying, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. So, and he was good to his word. 20%, all of us got appointments. He gave us opportunities that nobody's ever given us before. And so we owe a sense of gratitude to that man because he really did help us. And it was great.
Did you stay with him the whole 8 years?
Or 8 years.
No kidding.
And I served on Social Security Commission, which was a huge commission. Daniel Patrick Moynihan, the legendary senator, was my co-chair. Dick Parsons, chairman of the board of AOL Time Warner, was my co-chair. Bob Johnson, the first African American to be a billionaire, liquid billionaire, was one of my colleagues. Yeah. And I mean, it was just incredible. I mean, I got to do some incredible things. I've been in the Oval Office 3 times with him. I've been in the state dining room for dinner. I introduced him at a presidential town hall that was shown worldwide.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I got to do some pretty cool things.
So what did you do after that?
So after we did that, so we lost. So then I just, I started focusing on my business where I started doing development projects, helping people get their projects entitled. People would come, I would do business deals.
You didn't lose, right? Because he was 8 years and he couldn't run anymore.
Yeah, couldn't run. He was, we turned out. 2008, he was turned out. Then John McCain ran and President Obama beat him.
Yeah.
And so what I did is I just focused on business and I stayed involved in politics in my local area and I just really started building my cachet. Oh, take it back. In 2003, I became the vice chair of the state Republican Party. I was the number 2 guy in the whole state, the first Mexican American ever to be the vice chair of the state party. So I did that. Then I was his regional chair for President Bush's regional chair for his reelection in 2004. So at the National Convention in 2004, I was a sergeant of arms. So that means I had full access through that whole convention. And that was in Madison Square Gardens. So I got to go anywhere I wanted to go and had escorting privileges.
No.
Yeah. So this little kid from San Clemente that nobody ever thought would ever make anything of himself. Next thing I know, I'm playing a significant presidential level, which was, I didn't know what I was doing, actually. I was just learning along the way.
How did you get involved with Trump?
Because, back then, a good friend of mine, like Jenny Korn, who ran my campaign when I ran for vice chair of the party, she was running the whole Hispanic effort for the RNC. So whoever the candidate was going to be, the RNC had set up all the ground game. Republican National Committee was setting up the whole ground game to work with the candidate. So she was running that. So when President Trump got the nomination, then she said, I need you on board. We're putting together a Hispanic team, and I want you on the team. I want you to co-chair it. So I came on board early on. I was one of the first Hispanics to come on board when it wasn't popular. It wasn't popular. I mean, it was crazy. We were in August. We were in Trump Towers, in New York, and I'm sitting right next to him on the right-hand side. Jovita Carranza, the former treasurer and U.S. and SB administrator, is on the left side. The press comes in, took pictures, videos. That was a Saturday. Sunday morning, I get home and my phone's blown up. I mean, it was the eeriest feeling I've ever had in my life, where people are calling me, Mario, you need to get a crisis management team around you. Hispanic 100 is going to go down. You've done all this stuff for all these years, and you just lost all your credibility. How could you be sitting there next to him? He's a racist, and it's like, what are you guys talking? You know, I go, this is crazy. And this is the sad part, Arnold. This is the sad part. If they only knew what I said in that meeting, they would have been applauding me.
Yeah.
They would have said, go, Mario. Who would you rather have at the table? You got to be at the table if you're going to make any difference.
100%. You cannot make a difference if you're not invited.
Exactly. You can sit outside and talk all day long.
You want.
Yeah, all day long.
But if you're not invited to the party, you don't make a difference.
Exactly. And I'm at the table, and I'm not this crazy guy. I'm a sensible, we go back to common sense guy. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, I'm very reasonable. I'm not a crazy guy. And but if they only knew what I said and what came out of that meeting, they would have been applauding me. To the point, a week and a half later, I go to an event in my city, and I must have known 30, 40 people there at least. 2 people talked to me. 2 nights later, I go to an event at Disney. They had a private thing at Disney they invited me to. 2 people talked to me. A husband and wife team talked to me. They go, Mario, nobody, look at it. Everybody's staying away from you. Nobody's even coming to talk to you. I said, I know. It was just, you know.
Wrong.
It's so wrong. And it's like.
So wrong in so many ways, but that's what they were doing back then. And nobody gave the benefit of the doubt to the people around him, and nobody gave the benefit of the doubt to him. I think that's changed now.
It has changed night and day.
Yeah.
Night and day. I mean, after I was, you know, you saw the video and pictures when 2 weeks prior to this election, we were with him in Miami at Doral. And I was at the round table and with him, and a group of us had 12 of us at the round table. And it was just the energy there. And, you know, then, you know, I was on TV and he called on me and I had to say a few remarks and everything. And the emails and the calls and the texts I'm getting are like, oh, Mario, yeah. Now that we won, I'm getting a lot of phone calls on, hey, can you help me here? Can you do this? Can you do that? Excuse me. To the point, in 2016, Hispanic 100, we put together an inaugural ball in 2016, and we raised $365,000 for that ball, which I thought was a lot of money. It's like enough to us have a nice event. Great event. We've been doing this 5 weeks. Right after we won, we're going to do another ball the 19th. You know that because you'll be coming there with us on the 19th in D.C. And we've been doing it 5 weeks. As of today, we raised almost $800,000.
Unbelievable.
Almost $800,000. People are just so excited. And I have to tell you, Arnold, I've been involved, like I said, with 8 years with Bush, 7 years with Schwarzenegger, 4 years with Trump. And now with Trump again, I've never seen anything like it.
I agree with you.
I haven't seen anything like it.
You know, and I'm going to tell you, right, a lot of things is perception. I mean, he's reality, but what I mean by that is he hasn't taken office yet. And what they're doing, and people are already like, they're in.
Yeah.
People are already in. The mood is different. The happiness is back. You know, they know that things are going to get better. He's building a powerhouse team.
Oh, unbelievable.
I mean, powerhouse team.
In
he's building
time.
a legacy because he knows he's not running again. And I look at it as he's building this legacy.
Exactly, 100%.
He's
got 4 years and he knows that's it. So what he's done is in 2000 when he lost, he brought all the smartest people around him that were very loyal to him, and he started an organization called American First Policy Institute. And that's been the policy arm. They've been doing policy for the last 4 years. They've been doing they've got executive orders ready to go. And they've already vetted all these different folks for him to appoint an administration. That's why that's why it's so fast. And look at what's going on. I mean, he went to France. Instead, that should be the president of the United States should have been there. He's already went there. He called the
Canadian
president.
guy comes see
Canadian
him.
comes down to see him. The president of Mexico. We can throw tariffs too. Yeah, really? Okay, well, you want to play the game? Let's sit down and talk about and see who wins this game.
I mean, because if we have the right leadership, everything falls in place.
Yeah. You wait to see Ukraine. You wait to see what happens. It's crazy. Look what happened today. And I think SoftBank, they're going to come in and invest $100 billion. It's just the beginning.
Yeah.
It is going to, people's heads are going to spin.
People feel good because now, I mean, it was so much regulation before. Nobody wanted to put money in. You didn't know if you were going to make it back. Everybody's feeling so good about it.
Yeah, and regulation. And what he's going to do with Vivek and Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Oh,
I can't wait to see that.
But wait till you see that
Clean
because
house.
they're going to come in and show how much
and
waste.
Never before been done.
Never before.
Never. It's going to be great.
It's going to be incredible. That's why I told people, put your seatbelts on, forget about the politics, and just see in 4 years, look at the result.
And if it's good for America, it's good for all of us.
A friend of mine says, and I say the same thing, he's on the doorstep of greatness.
Yeah.
He's on the doorsteps of greatness. And
listen, I heard a Democrat the other day say this guy will go down as the greatest politician in the history of our time.
100%. Somebody else.
And he was a Democrat.
Yeah, and somebody said that to me. Well, he'll go down with Ronald Reagan. I go, he'll be better.
Yeah.
He'll be better than Ronald Reagan.
I think so.
And I'm a big Reagan fan.
I'm excited to see what I'm excited because I do think the next 4 years are going to be phenomenal.
It's going to be incredible.
All right. Let's send it real quick. Favorite car. What's the car that goes in your museum?
1957 Corvette.
Oh,
I like those old little two-seat Corvettes with the top off, with the engine coming out of the hood. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
I love it because you knew it.
I know that one. Yeah.
All right. Favorite place of all the places you travel. Favorite place you travel.
Cancun, Mexico.
All right.
That's my favorite place.
Yeah.
But the most spiritual and educational place I've ever been, Israel.
Israel, for sure.
There you can't top.
Bucket list that you haven't been to that you want to go to.
Europe, Italy, Spain.
Italy.
Portugal,
Italy and Spain. Those two are great places.
I haven't been there. That's my next. But I've got to go there with the right person. It's going to be a 3 or 4 week trip.
Yeah, I love it. Favorite food?
Steak.
Steak.
I'm a steak guy.
Steak and potatoes.
Steak and potato guy.
Brother, thank you for being on the show, man.
Oh, my God. Thank you.
It's been
great.
It's been great,
Oh,
man.
my pleasure. Thank you. All right.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers to you.
Thank you for listening to Wheels, Deals, and Meals, your main source for all things good and fun, business, food, and cars. If you like this episode, make sure to rate us and subscribe. If you would like to be a guest on our show, please leave a message at the link below. Till next time, happy eating.